Hey everybody, it's your old pal Steve Moore here, owner of RUNMOORE, this spectacular brick and mortar running shop located in Westminster, Maryland. Today we have a big one. It is the Hoka Speedgoat 6. This is a shoe that has been needing an update. The Speedgoat 5 has been a fan favorite and has been around for a long time. And as an avid trail runner who's put a bunch of miles on a bunch of Speedgoats, I was excited to get my hands on the 6. So let's first just get over a couple small pieces here. This is a $155 trail shoe. This has a 5mm drop to it. On the men's side, shaved off a little weight. This now comes in at 9.8 ounces, and on the women's side, it's 8.2 ounces. Just a nice normal woven mesh upper, a fully gusseted tongue, and just sort of the same traditional EVA midsole that had been used in the previous Speedgoats. You know, for a lot of people, the Speedgoat was the GOAT. You know, this was a shoe that was so easily accessible that you'd go out on the trail and you saw so many Speedgoats. If you showed up to a race, you saw a lot of Speedgoats. It is one of those shoes that has such great name to it, you know, that everybody at some point has been aware of, tried on, run in. Much like on road shoes, there's those models that people, oh yeah, I've run on a Clifton. Oh yeah, I've had a Ghost at some point. That seemed to be what the Speedgoat was. And like, I know a lot of people, myself included, were ready for an update. It felt like the 5 had been around for an ever, and now it's like finally we had the 6, and it was exciting to see the direction they were going at. And there are some things I really liked on the shoe and some things that I kind of didn't, so stay with me here. We're gonna kind of go through some of the ups and downs on the new Speedgoat 6. And I guess one of the things right out of the gate for me putting it on was the fit. You know, I was excited to try it because I had some fit issues and some people had fit issues on the 5, so right out of the gate, didn't love the fit. And you know, I know that's hard and it almost puts you off in a negative space immediately. You pop it on, you go, ugh. But I will say I didn't love the new upper as much. I mean, it's still just like a woven mesh upper, but they changed the pattern on the lacing a little bit and it kind of irked me. Like you can kind of see this was how I ran in it. And I get this big loosey guy down here. They've changed where they're trying to secure the tongue a little bit lower towards your toes. And now it makes it really hard to get in here to tighten this the way you want. And what I found also is, look how short, the tongue is very short. So it was like moving around and it was getting too low, and it took me a little bit to kind of feel like I wanted to in this shoe. And in fact, even mid-run, I did have to take my shoe off and kind of play around with the lacing and marathon a little bit. So there was a little bit on my end of like, I wish this shoe fit just a little bit differently, because honestly, like I will say personally, most of my miles are on the trail, and most of those miles are in either the Mafate Speed 4 or the Stinson 7, both trail shoes from Hoka, different levels of cushion and performance base to it depending on the type of mileage I'm doing, but both of those, I've had very good luck of just popping them on and going. And I will say, like, I've had some pretty angry feet lately, and there are some shoes that I put on, I'm just like, no chance I'm running in this shoe today. And at first, when I first put this guy on, I was like, well, I'm gonna have to review this a different day because my foot's too angry right now. But once I play with the lacing, it worked out just fine on my run. But it took a little bit of finagling to get it as comfortable as I wanted. Moving down to our midsole here, this is just like a regular EVA midsole. Again, I've been running in some stuff, especially like on the Mafate that has a little more premium, has like the ProFly midsole. So this didn't have that. But what it did have was a nice lighter package to it. One thing I've noticed on like the Mafate Speed 4, just to keep picking on that shoe, while I love the speed of that shoe and the ease in which I can get through the miles on that shoe, I kick myself a crap ton of that. In fact, the guy that I do most of my running with, we both tend to wear the same shoes. Just one of those things, we both show up wearing the exact same shoes like a bunch of dorks. And I can tell we both have so many sort of roll ankle issues on the Mafate. I didn't have any of this on the Speedgoat. I felt very quick and nimble, even though the midsole wasn't like performance-y. I felt much more compact and easy to navigate the trails in this than I did in some of my other shoes, and that was a huge plus for me. And like I purposely took this on a trail that had like a little bit of road, a lot of mud, stream crossings, some tough technical sections, and it performed awesome. You know, it has the Vibram outsole, the Mega Grip outsole, and it did great. And you know, and sometimes I don't necessarily love running and stuff like this that has any type of like road on it, but this shoe is perfect to kind of do those spots where you are crossing over some road sections, and I am going through streams and all that good crap that you want to find on a nice trail, and it performed well. It performed better than a lot of my trail shoes. I was quite happy with the grip and performance perspective of this, and I felt myself nice and not falling, not kicking myself. you know, it is a lower cushion compared to some of the other stuff out there. So again, you know, I had used the Speedgoat in some long stuff. I'd run a 50K in a pair of Speedgoats, and now I just have a lot more shoes in my arsenal. So while I probably wouldn't use the Speedgoat 6 for something that long, but if I'm going out and running like 2 hours, maybe 3 hours on the trail in a training run, like this shoe is certainly good and serviceable for it. It doesn't have that super bouncy midsole that you might find, and it's not a stable shoe. It doesn't have that same like structure that you find in a Stinson or some of the other shoes that we have here on the wall. But for like that perfect everyday trail shoe, you're not going to do much better than the Speedgoat. Look, I'm not going to call it the GOAT of all trail shoes, but you're also not going to do much better if you just want that one shoe to do a lot of stuff in. And as I always say with trail shoes, like I live right by a trail. I do most of my stuff on the trail. I have a running shop, so I have a million trail shoes. Most people don't get to the trail that often, right? Like most people, like if they get to the trail once or twice a month, that's a really good month. So you kind of want to invest in a shoe that you can do a bunch of stuff in. And to me, that's where the Speedgoat's always been. Even at $155, it's a good price point for a shoe with a Vibram outsole that you can be able to get. I mean, I had 400 miles in my last Speedgoat. There's no reason to think you wouldn't get this on the new 6. So if you're looking for a durable shoe to go run some snappy miles in through a variety of terrain, you should be pretty happy with this Speedgoat. I wish the fit was a little better. I wish the tongue was a little bit longer. I don't need like a Gene Simmons tongue, but like a little bit longer and a little bit easier to play with to get it to fit right. But you know, it's a great serviceable. I hate serviceable sounds like I'm pooping on the shoe, but it's a nice option. It's a nice update. Wish it had a little more premium midsole. Wish there's a few things different, but overall, I think it's a great shoe for somebody who's looking to have a shoe to do a little bit of everything in. But anyway, that's the Speedgoat 6. I hope that helps answer some questions on this new update. And if you have some further questions, feel free to leave them down below and I'll get back to you as soon as we can. And hey, if you found this fun and exciting, do me a solid, like and subscribe to our channel. It's a free way to support the shop. And if you want a non-free way to support the shop, purchase this bad boy. We have a link down below, and if you enter promo code RUNMOORE, you'll save 10% on it. Thanks so much, happy running, and if you're in the greater Westminster, Maryland area, stop on by and say hello.